Once upon a time, in a small and peaceful town, there lived a young merchant named Samuel. Samuel possessed a kind heart and a warm, happy smile. He ran a small shop on the town's outskirts, where he sold beautiful items, hand baskets, gentle fabrics, and spices imported from distant lands. People loved visiting his store, not just for the unique products he offered, but for the genuine warmth and kindness he shared with everyone. He often burned the midnight oil, making sure everything was tidy, well stocked, and ready for the next day. But despite all his efforts, Samuel had a problem. No matter how hard he worked, sales were sluggish. His shop remained quiet, while other stores buzzed with customers. The neighboring shopkeepers, who did a roaring trade, were always busy, laughing, selling, thriving. They made decent money, while Samuel's modest income barely covered his rent and expenses. "I guess I must be no good at this," Samuel sighed, staring at the empty street. "Perhaps, no matter what I do, nothing will ever work out for me." As the weeks dragged on and business stayed slow, a heavy cloud of doubt settled over him. Samuel began to lose hope. He stopped trying new ideas, no longer introduced fresh products, and gave up on discounts or creative displays. His once glowing enthusiasm began to fade. It was as though a light inside him had gone dim. One lonely evening, sitting on the steps of his store after another quiet day, Samuel gazed down the street, feeling hollow and defeated. His heart was heavy, his eyes filled with sadness and self-doubt. Just then, Mr. George, a wise and experienced merchant, happened to walk by. His own shop was always bustling with customers, and he was well respected in the market. Noticing Samuel sitting alone, Mr. George gently approached and said with a kind smile, "A penny for your thoughts, my friend." Samuel looked up, his eyes tired and voice low. "Sir, no matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to grow my business. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just give up." Mr. George listened patiently, nodding with understanding. Then he smiled softly and said, "Come along, Samuel. I want to show you something." Curious, Samuel followed him through the market and into a quiet side street. There, behind Mr. George's busy shop, was a storage room filled with old books and papers. Mr. George reached for a worn-out notebook and opened it. "Look here," he said, pointing to a page filled with scribbled notes, names, and numbers. "This was my business plan. I had very few customers when I started too. Just like you. I struggled, I failed, I doubted myself, but I didn't give up," he continued. "I wrote everything down. What worked, what didn't, what needed to change. I didn't panic during the hard times. Instead, I made small improvements every day, and slowly, things began to turn around." Samuel listened, wide-eyed, as hope flickered back into his heart. Mr. George leaned in and said, "Think like your customers. What do they want? What would make them stop and come in? Make your store inviting. Change your display. Offer something new, something special. Even a small change can make a big difference." That night, Samuel returned to his shop feeling inspired. Something had shifted inside him. He decided to start fresh, with a special sale and a bright, colorful window display that would catch the eyes of passers-by. The next day, Samuel watched nervously from behind the counter, and to his surprise, someone walked in. The day after that, a few more came. Word began to spread. Encouraged, Samuel kept going. He introduced exciting new items, created offers for repeat customers, and made sure his store looked warm and welcoming. He even ran into an old friend who gave him marketing tips, which Samuel put to use right away. At first, progress was slow, but Samuel remembered Mr. George's words and held on. And then, the magic began. His shop started buzzing with customers. People came for the products, but stayed for the experience. Samuel's name spread throughout the town, and soon, His once quiet shop was filled with life. Over time, Samuel grew into a prosperous merchant, respected and admired by all. Years later, young and hopeful merchants would come to him for guidance. And with a smile, Samuel would say, "Don't give up when things get hard. The road to success is built on small steps. Keep improving. Keep trying. One day, all your effort will bear fruit." Remember, hard times don't end your story. They shape it. When life feels heavy and you're tempted to quit, take one more step. Just one more. Because every tiny effort brings you closer to your dreams. Success isn't sudden. It's slow. It's steady. It's earned. With patience, with persistence, and with heart. And one day, you'll look back and smile, realizing that all your little steps created something truly magnificent. Now let's go through the vocabulary, idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs that we have learnt from the story.